Let me see if I mastered it. Welcome to 86, where the nights run long and the stories hit quick. From the back of the house to the front row mix. We talk hospitality unfiltered. It's 86, baby. What's up? What's good, y'all? I miss y'all. Y'all living. Happy New Year. See, quick side note before we get into this episode. I tried to say that last week, January 2nd specifically, but in the midst of me recording with a guest for another 86 episode, I ain't gonna say who, but y'all gonna see it soon. A damn contracted tree company knocked out the power to my house. And that's not the worst part. The power was out for at least 10 days. 10 days, bruh. 10 days, everybody, which is crazy. So me and the fam were at different hotels, moving around, just dealing with all of that. So we settled back in the house, power's back on. So we back to podcasting, man. And today, this episode, we're talking about what is kitchen dynamic really like? Or how do you explain the kitchen dynamic? Like, how is the kitchen structure? How is it built? And I've been a lot, one take. I've been a part of a lot of different kitchen environments and cultures. And every kitchen is different. I know you heard me say that before. And just think about it as a basketball team. Every basketball team is different. We all got the same common goal, to play basketball on the culinary point to serve guests food, but every kitchen is different. Some of the kitchen dynamics that I remember most, or I can say that have molded me the most, were ones where you have camaraderie with your teammates. So when I worked at a country club, Atlanta Athletic Country Club, where I met some of my closest chef friends to this day, Chef Remy, Chef Zay, Chef Al, Chef Shane, Chef Marcus, met all of them fantastic chefs there. And we were able to just bond and get along and trust each other and work side by side with each other. See, Chef Marcus worked grill and I worked saute. And when I came on board, Chef Shane was the one that was training me on saute. Don't worry, you're gonna see all these names on this podcast. Trust me, you're gonna see all these names on this podcast. But just that we were able to, one, get along with each other, which makes working together a whole lot easier. And that's just, I almost went to a different thought. But us being able to get along with each other made the days easier, made the prep easier, made asking questions, making learning easier. Like, I'm comfortable with Chef Marcus. Like, hey, I don't understand this concept or technique. Can you help me with it? He's able to help me and break it down and we can figure things out. So that's the one thing, not the one thing, but this is one of the positive things that I have experienced in a kitchen or kitchen's dynamic. Outside of that nucleus that we had at the Atlanta Athletic Club, we had our head chef, we had two sous chefs, we had an executive sous chef, we had just a regular sous chef, we had a banquet sous chef. So I'm sorry, maybe three sous chefs. So you had the head chef, under him you had the executive sous chef, then it's spread out, sous chef, banquet sous chef. So it was like when you really have problems or concerns or kitchen situations, those things go through the sous chefs. When you got like scheduling conflicts or PTO requests or family leave, things of that nature, those things might go through the executive sous chef. Anything above that, the executive chef, and even though he might handle the smaller tasks too, depending on like who's out or who's available or what can be done. But usually that's how the dynamic goes. So you follow that chain of command. Now, when it comes to, when it came to that environment, the kitchen that we worked in, it was called the Troon. See, the Atlanta Athletic Club had two main kitchens and the banquet kitchen. The kitchen we worked in was the Troon. That was more of like the bar style, more casual experience, even though we still did fine dining and high, let's say, what's not fine dining, but it was very like, yeah, I can't think of the word, but we did nice plates, we did very technical food made sense. So we were still pumping out a lot of food. And the other restaurant, I forgot what that restaurant was called, but that was more of like true fine dining. It was very detailed, very meticulous. In our environment, it was a little more relaxed. We can talk, have fun, even though it was busy, when we locked in, it was time to lock in. But in the other restaurant, when you go across the hall, it wasn't like that. It was seriousness 24/7 because the attention to detail was a lot higher over there, and they pay a lot more, money to eat certain types of foods, which is that makes sense. Banquets was a whole, everybody was friendly in banquets. Everybody was nice. Everybody talked. Everybody was helpful, communicative. And as a team, as a whole, staff at the athletic club, when we would do big banquets and big caterers, we will all help. We will all put your hand. We will all be 1, 2, 1, 2, like, arms in arms. We brothers and sisters in arms, so we all get it done. That kind of dynamic helped show me teamwork, camaraderie, execution, communication, accountability. Because a lot of those things, a lot of those traits I just said, I should say, aren't always present in every kitchen. So when you have it in a kitchen, you really, really want to take advantage of that. Because sometimes that can be really, really rare. Now, that was probably one of the best examples of dynamics that I've been in. And just to give you some more to back that up, when the executive chef would speak or have meetings, everybody listened, everybody tuned in. There wasn't like stragglers or there wasn't any side conversations. Like we all took that serious. We all made sure we understood what was going on because he's the one that's going to hold us the most accountable. The executive sous chefs and the sous chefs might have a little bit more leeway, but if we mess up, it's on them. He comes down on them. So he's going to hold everybody accountable the same way because he has to. Like, that is his title. It's his true responsibility. The executive sous chef should as well, but sometimes when those positions, it also comes a little bit of leniency, which is not a problem because I was in management too. Oh, hit the mic. I was in management as myself as well. I was in management myself as well. Plenty of times throughout my career, and just learning how to react off the situation and then make the best call and the best judgment. Now, when it comes to a very toxic environment, we're not gonna say this place, but everybody, people still might get along, people still might converse and talk, but it may not be a family kind of atmosphere that a positive environment would say. You might have your own clique, your own circle and groups of people. They all hang out. We all might intermingle, what as on a as needed basis, but we don't have that kind of work chemistry, that work camaraderie. It's always, not always, but it tends to be, every man for himself kind of mentality. Like if somebody's in the weeds, hey, you in the weeds, figure it out because we can't help you figure it out, or we can help you, but we don't want to help you figure it out. You got to figure it out. I'm doing my own job over here. The execution may not be the best, or the execution wasn't the best. We being just right. Execution wasn't the best, so people were getting food that the restaurant shouldn't be proud of selling, or the club or the hotel shouldn't be proud of selling. And that's always a terrible feeling when guests go through that because I have pride in what I do, so I don't want guests to experience that or us not put out our best foot forward and just not give a fuck because then the food suffers and the people suffer and then essentially we suffer. Our reputation suffers, our clientele suffers. We might lose out some guests. It's a big trickling effect. Is that trickle? That's the word trickling effect or pattern or whatever that case may be. And in those kitchens, it's a lot more. People are a lot more free with dialogue. You might get a lot of people who make a lot of inappropriate jokes, inappropriate comments, say certain things, like even if it's not about like just like somebody's sexual orientation or what is the word? Like somebody giving out advances. There you go, like being advanced towards somebody. It can be about like race, politics, whatever the case may be. And a lot of those conversations aren't appropriate for the workplace, but in the kitchen, there's a lot more freedoms because you're doing a lot of moving and you're always interacting with somebody. So so having those conversations that can bring negativity and bring different animosity, not different, but bring animosity amongst people. Because those conversations shouldn't be had, and that divides people in your workplace. That brings up gossip and he say, she say, and now people, oh, I don't want to deal with this person. I don't want to work with this person. I've experienced all of it. And it's just kind of like, bro, we shouldn't even be doing this at a workplace because we work in this place business. We here to serve food, not argue about something political or something that doesn't relate to what we have going on right now. We can talk about that stuff outside of or on a break or whatever the case may be. But let's not do it at the time where this is vital to the success of the team. Sorry, I just had a brain for it. And that and just outside of like environments and people, when it comes down to the actual food portion of it, like how is the food stored? Is it stored properly? Is it labeled? Are you FIFOing? Are you following the guidelines of how to like when you're on the protein, like ready to eat foods at the top, chicken all the way at the bottom? Is the freezer organized? Is it swept? Is it clean? Like those things also play a part in the dynamic because that shows you who cares or what kitchen cares, what kitchen doesn't really care about their operation. And I've gone to places, dodged places where everybody is held accountable. Those those points are to the T, like they're labeling everything. Things are dated, things are rotated. People are pulling the right product. There aren't three or four salt jars opened up at one time. Not jar. Three or four salt boxes opened up at one time. Two or three ranches opened up at one time. Like they have a hold on those things. They understand that one, that's money. Two, that's a habit, and that's part of our culture. Like if everybody opens up a thing of mayo because they can't find no one that's open already, and we have seven jars of mayo that's open, and now they all are eventually going to expire faster because we can't use all this mayo at one time. Like things like that, some people don't understand or grasp. So that kind of puts these kitchens in a weird spot. Uh, Sometimes people feel like, well, they do it, I can do it, or monkey see, monkey do, instead of doing the right thing and challenging. Integrity does play a part in kitchens extremely because you gotta do the right thing when nobody's looking. Like, are you going to do the right thing when nobody's looking? Like the kitchen dynamics, bro, are so crazy because it's like it could and in one instance it can be a place of sanctuary and peace and hope and joy and fun. And the next it can be a place of like the most toxic environment ever. And the most horrible mental space to be in ever. And when you've been in two different situations like that, you kind of start to realize like what you want in the kitchen. And you also start to realize what patterns you should look for when you're, going for these jobs and going for these careers and these positions. Because if you aren't that kind of person and you get put into a situation where you won't succeed or you won't flourish, eventually you're going to fail. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We can also touch on, the- we touched on the food a little bit, the freezer and the cleanliness and sanitation and all that. And we can touch on the management too. Like definitely management, definitely important. Do you have managers who feed into the gossiping and feed into the inappropriateness of jokes and being just like not professional or not having a how can I word this? Or not putting their best professional foot forward. Don't get me wrong. I've learned and grown as a manager, so I understand that certain things that I have done may have not been in the best. They have not been the best decisions, and may have not been the best version of me in that moment. And I definitely can be accountable for that. That is very toxic. I definitely had some moments where it wasn't healthy, and I seen how that shaped the kitchen. Like I seen how what that can do when the attitude of management can dictate the flow and the energy of the staff and people around them. And if you are around great managers who can treat everybody fair, who can be relatable, who can help out when shit get thick, because we in the kitchen, shit gonna get thick at least 3 times a day. So we got like managers that's always want to jump in and help, managers that are organized, managers that can effectively do their AORs and not have the team lacking. Like that's the one thing I don't think people realize a lot is managers have AORs, scheduling, banquet, liquor orders, beer order, alcohol orders, food orders. So we have to make sure that, I'm sorry, managers, I'm not manager, more of a manager have to make sure that they are on top of all of that because one mistake affects the whole team. If I forget to order triple sec, and that's a specialty that goes in one of my drinks, then we can't sell the most popular drink, that goes to everybody. That affects team morale, customer morale, tips, sales, everything. If we get strawberries for our strawberry walnut salad, but we don't have any strawberries that are rotten, that affects salads, that affects prep, that affects everything. So managers have to be on top of that. And there are managers who definitely do a great job and go above and beyond those expectations. But there are some managers, some people who are in those positions where they don't just they don't care. Or they care very minimally. Like it's all the thought process is it do I have enough for 4 days, 3 days? What's the par this day, that day? It's always, and at least we can get to Tuesday. It's Monday. Let's get to Tuesday, and whatever else we'll figure it out. Or let's get to this day, we'll figure it out. Like that's not a good attitude to have. Like you want managers that can hold themselves accountable, hold themselves to a higher standard. Because that's ultimately going to lead your team to where they want to be. Ultimately lead your team to where they want to be. And take it a step further, if you're in a place where you have higher ups, like presidents, CEOs, CFOs, if you're in a family owned kind of situation, owners and partners and all of that, if they come in, how do they treat their staff? How do they treat their guests? Are they going there and they know every staff member name? They saying hi, they ask them questions, they're making them feel good, they're making them feel they're part of the team, not just the number. Or are they going in there, going straight to the office and talking to whoever? Or going straight to the meeting, talking to whoever? Like, staff sees that. Staff sees how people treat or how higher ups treat their regular hourly staff. Like staff watch that. Staff sees that. We all see I watched it. I've been on both sides of it, like as an hourly and as a manager, dealing with owners and partners and CEOs, CFOs, and their sometimes their lofty expectations or unrealistic expectations, if you're being honest. And it can be tough. It definitely can be super, super tough because morale is affected. People are affected. If your manager, like I said, coming in and he got an attitude, sorry, that's your manager hire coming in got an attitude and it's rubbing everybody the wrong way, it's gonna trickle down the whole team. And the whole team's gonna feel that. And that's gonna really, 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 really be a strain in your day. Where else can I go with this? We talked about the staff, about the kitchen, the environment, talked about the food, talked about the managers, help ordering. And it's just a kitchen, like you never know what's gonna happen every day. Like it's like you on a boat. You just on a boat and you just sailing in the middle of the ocean. And it's sunny outside and you just doing your thing, you're sailing. The next thing you know, four fins swapping around, swimming around you. They start shaking your boat, whatever the case may be. Or you swimming and clouds start coming and start raining. Like being in the kitchen dynamic is like I used to always say, if you do watch basketball, it's like being on your pivot. Like you always gotta when you got your pivot, you got your one foot, you can turn your body and rotate, rotate, and rotate. Like defenders don't know where you're going unless you're a one trick pony. But if you're a good pivot, you're a good basketball player. When you pivot, defenders don't know where you're going, and that's kind of like in the kitchen. Like the defenders are the staff. The person who got the ball is the universe. Is the situation. Like, oh yeah, you guarding me, but I might go this way and this way, and that might lead to your dishwasher being down. So now we got to hand wash dishes, and then we need all hands on deck. It's already a busy Thursday, and then everybody tired, they upset, and we still got to wash dishes. Or I've been at a job where me and the dishwasher, we closing up, we going home, it's just us two, all the cooks went home. So I'm doing my rounds, doing everything, and the dishwasher come up to me, he like, "Hey, bro, our drains is flooding." I'm like, "What? They flooding?" Go around back, they check them out, and they flooded. And by the time I go back to the front of the restaurant, the whole restaurant is flooded. So now we're there another 45 minutes to an hour figuring out how to get this situated. So luckily enough, we got different resources and we had our plumber come out. Man, Scott, if you ever listen to Scott, you will go. You would go. Man, shout out to Scott. Man. Scott definitely came that day at 11:30 at night to help us unclog that drain. And there was a fork in the drain, and the fork was like bending fingers. It was like the Avatar doing Naruto jutsus or something. And I never ever forget that day. But I think that's the best analogy I could put. Being in the kitchen is like being at the finger on somebody on a pivot, on the best player of the team, and they had their pivot. Like you always have to be adaptable. You got to be flexible. You don't know what can happen on a day to day in the kitchen. It could be a slow Monday. You slow the whole 6, 8 hours you've been there. In the last 7 hours and 32 minutes, a 22 top walk, and they won everything. And y'all close in 20 minutes, but hey, guess what? It don't. Like a kitchen is unpredictable. That's the perfect word. Kitchen is unpredictable. From the guests to the staff to whatever. Unpredictable. I've seen fights before we opened up. I've seen people get beat up. I've seen people get pulled knives out on. Like I've seen a lot of stuff in kitchens, and that sounds pretty bad. But I've seen a lot of stuff in kitchens. But if you ever want to work in the kitchen or be in that environment, just know you have to be flexible and adaptable. And let's go wrap it up for this episode. I appreciate y'all being patient with the boy while his power was out. We'll be back filming episodes. And P.S. I got like 5 guests lined up in the month of January post power outage. So be on the lookout, man. 86 be coming hard. It's your boy Chef Aaron Jr. Man, I appreciate y'all. If you listen to this on Apple Music, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast at, man, make sure you give it a 5-star rate. Make sure you favorite it so you know when every episode drop, you can be the first one to tune in. Thank you for making 86 a listen today. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, like, subscribe, like, comment. In any order, just make sure you show us some love. It's your boy Chef Aaron, man. We out, man.